Imagine walking into a urology clinic and seeing the doctors themselves eating something specific during their break. You would immediately wonder, what do they know that I don't? Why is their bladder control so much better, and why do they never seem to struggle with those frantic, panicked runs to the bathroom every 30 minutes? Today, I am pulling back the curtain on the nutritional world of urological health. We are moving past the basic advice of drinking less water or taking generic pills. Instead, we are diving into the science of 5 specific ingredients that 99% of urologists incorporate into their own lives to keep their bladder muscles strong, elastic, and biologically young. This isn't just about ancient tradition. This is about modern clinical data and the biochemistry of your pelvic floor. If you stay with me until the end, I will reveal the #1 most powerful ingredient that is likely sitting in your kitchen right now, but you are probably using it all wrong. This single food item has been shown in clinical studies to relax the bladder wall more effectively than some prescription medications. Let us get straight into the science of how you can rebuild your bladder from the inside out. I am Dr. Ethan Whitmore, and you are watching Senior Urovex. We focus on mastering the biology of aging so you can live with dignity and strength. To understand why these foods work, we first have to understand the enemy. As we age, the bladder muscle, known as the detrusor muscle, undergoes a process called fibrosis. It becomes stiff, less elastic, and much more irritable. Think of it like an old rubber band that has lost its stretch. Instead of expanding comfortably as it fills with urine, it starts to twitch and spasm the moment even a small amount of fluid enters. This is why you feel that sudden, sharp urge to go even when your bladder is practically empty. Most people think the solution is to just strengthen the muscle, but in reality, you need to nourish the nerves and the cellular lining. Before we reveal our top-tier list, I have a very important question for you. When you feel that urgency, does it come with a burning sensation, or is it just a heavy pressure that you cannot ignore? Please share your experience in the comments below. I read through them because it helps me understand the specific struggles of this community so I can provide better information for everyone. And if you feel that this kind of detailed medical breakdown is helpful for people of our age, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps our community grow so we can reach more people who are tired of being told there is no solution. Now, let's begin with our first unique ingredient that addresses a problem most seniors don't even know they have: internal acidity. The first ingredient on our list is the humble pear. Now, you might be thinking, why a pear and not an orange or a grapefruit? This is where 99% of people make a massive mistake. Most seniors are told to eat more fruit for fiber and vitamins, but zesty, acidic fruits like oranges, lemons, and even some apples are high in citric acid. For a sensitive bladder, citric acid acts like pouring lemon juice on an open wound. It irritates the bladder lining, causing it to contract prematurely. The pear, however, is statistically the least acidic fruit available to us. Clinical nutritionists refer to it as a bladder-safe food because it has an alkaline effect once metabolized. It contains a high concentration of malic acid and pectin. Malic acid helps to neutralize the overall acidity of your urine, while pectin provides the gentle fiber needed to prevent constipation. You might wonder, what does constipation have to do with your bladder? Because the rectum and the bladder sit right next to each other, a full colon puts physical pressure on the bladder, making urgency 10 times worse. By eating 1 pear a day, you are cooling down the acid burn in your bladder and clearing the physical path for it to expand fully. To get the most out of this, do not eat the pear late at night, as the natural sugars and water content might trigger a midnight trip. The best time is between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Always eat it with the skin on, as that is where the most concentrated pectin resides. However, make sure it is a ripe, soft pear. A hard, unripe pear is difficult to digest and won't provide the same alkaline benefit to your urine pH. If you have a very sensitive stomach, you can lightly steam the pear slices for 3 minutes to make the fibers even more bladder-friendly. Moving on to our second powerhouse ingredient, Mushrooms, specifically button or shiitake mushrooms. This is a choice that surprises almost everyone because we don't usually associate fungi with urinary health. However, the science here is undeniable. The bladder is a muscular organ, and like every other muscle in your body, its ability to contract and relax is governed by vitamin D receptors. Research published in the International Neurourology Journal found a direct link between low vitamin D levels and the onset of overactive bladder and urinary incontinence. Mushrooms are one of the only non-animal sources of vitamin D. When they are exposed to sunlight, they produce vitamin D2, which helps maintain the structural integrity of the pelvic floor muscles. Without enough vitamin D, your bladder wall becomes leaky and weak. Urologists include mushrooms in their diet because they understand that a vitamin D-rich diet keeps the bladder tight and responsive. Furthermore, mushrooms contain beta-glucans, which are powerful immunomodulators. They help prevent low-grade inflammation in the bladder wall. Here is a clinical secret. Before you cook your mushrooms, place them on a windowsill in direct sunlight for 30 to 60 minutes. This significantly boosts their vitamin D content. When it comes to cooking, do not boil them in water, as you will lose the vital nutrients. Instead, sauté them in a small amount of healthy fat like olive oil or grass-fed butter. The fat is crucial because vitamin D is fat-soluble. Without it, your body cannot absorb the bladder-strengthening vitamins. Aim for 3 servings a week, ideally during your lunch or early dinner. Our third ingredient takes us into the world of cooked vegetables, specifically cooked tomatoes. Many people avoid tomatoes because they fear the acidity, but urologists know a secret. The magic happens when you heat them up. Raw tomatoes are acidic and can be irritating, but once they are cooked, the chemical structure changes and releases a massive amount of lycopene. Lycopene is perhaps the most studied antioxidant in the world of urological health. It is fat-soluble, meaning it absorbs best when cooked with a little olive oil. While it is famous for its ability to shrink an enlarged prostate in men, its benefits for women are equally profound. Lycopene helps to strengthen the capillaries that feed the bladder muscle. Better blood flow means the muscle stays younger and more elastic for longer. In clinical trials, men and women who had high levels of lycopene in their systems reported a significant decrease in urgency episodes. This is because lycopene protects the nerves surrounding the bladder from oxidative stress. When these nerves are healthy, they don't send false alarms to the brain. Think of cooked tomatoes as a protective shield for the wiring of your urinary system. To maximize the bladder benefit, you should never eat tomatoes raw if you have urgency issues. The best way is to make a simple, home-cooked tomato sauce or a warm tomato soup. Simmer the tomatoes for at least 15 minutes with a tablespoon of olive oil. This process multiplies the bioavailable lycopene by up to 5 times. Consume this at least 4 times a week. It is best taken during your midday meal, giving the antioxidants enough time to circulate through your pelvic floor before you head to bed. The fourth ingredient is a traditional powerhouse that has recently been validated by modern science: barley, specifically barley water. In many parts of the world, barley has been used for centuries to treat kidney heat, but urologists look at it through the lens of mucilage. Barley is rich in a type of soluble fiber that, when boiled in water, creates a soothing, demulcent effect. This means it creates a thin, protective film over the mucous membranes of your body, including the lining of your bladder. For many seniors, the inner lining of the bladder, the gag layer, becomes thin over time. When this layer thins out, the chemicals in your urine come into direct contact with the sensitive nerves underneath, causing extreme urgency and pain. Barley water acts like a natural internal bandage. It flushes out the kidneys while simultaneously coating the bladder wall, making it much more resilient to irritation. Clinical studies have shown that regular consumption of barley can lower systemic inflammation markers, which directly translates to fewer spasms in the detrusor muscle. To prepare this properly, boil half a cup of pearl barley in 4 cups of water for about 20 minutes until the water becomes slightly cloudy. Strain the liquid and let it cool. Do not add sugar. as sugar is a major bladder irritant. You can add a small slice of ginger if you wish. Drink 1 small glass, about 150 millimoli, in the early afternoon, around 2 or 3 p.m. This timing is critical because it gives the protective coating enough time to settle in your bladder before the evening, reducing the sensitivity that often leads to nighttime urgency. Now, we have reached our final, most unique, and perhaps most powerful ingredient of all. This is the one that 99% of urologists use as a secret weapon for muscle relaxation: cashews. You might see them as just a snack, but in the medical world, cashews are essentially magnesium capsules in a natural form. Magnesium is the 4th most abundant mineral in the human body, but it is the number 1 mineral responsible for muscle relaxation. Every time your bladder muscle contracts to push out urine, it uses calcium. But to stop that contraction and relax so it can fill back up, it absolutely requires magnesium. Most seniors are chronically deficient in magnesium, which leads to a condition called bladder spasticity. This means your bladder is always in a state of semi-contraction, never fully relaxing. Cashews provide a high bioavailability dose of magnesium along with healthy fats that help stabilize the nervous system. When you eat a small handful of raw cashews daily, you are providing your bladder with the chemical off switch it needs to stop those inconvenient spasms. The most effective way to use cashews for bladder control is to eat exactly 6 to 8 raw, unsalted cashews about 2 hours before you plan to sleep. Why raw and unsalted? Salt causes fluid retention, which will only make you pee more at night. Raw cashews contain the highest amount of pure magnesium. Eating them in the evening allows the magnesium to reach its peak concentration in your bloodstream just as you are entering your deep sleep cycles, ensuring your bladder muscle stays relaxed and quiet throughout the night. It is the ultimate natural sedative for an overactive bladder. Think about the cumulative impact of these 5 ingredients. You are neutralizing acidity with pears, strengthening the muscle with vitamin D from mushrooms, protecting the nerves with lycopene from cooked tomatoes, coating the bladder lining with barley water, and providing the ultimate relaxation signal with magnesium from cashews. This isn't a temporary fix or a miracle cure. It is a comprehensive nutritional strategy to rebuild an aging organ. We often spend thousands of dollars on treatments and medications, yet we overlook the simple building blocks that our cells need to function. Your bladder is a living, breathing part of you that responds to what you put in your body. When you give it the right nutrients, it has an incredible capacity to heal and regain its youthful elasticity. Furthermore, we must discuss the concept of neurological mapping. Your brain is incredibly adaptive, but it is also a creature of habit. Every time you run to the bathroom, the second you feel a tiny tingle of urgency, you are reinforcing a panic map in your mind. You are teaching your brain that the bladder is an emergency zone. By using these nutritional resets, you are practicing urge suppression training. You are telling your brain, wait, I am in control, and we can relax. Over time, this actually reshapes the way your brain interprets signals from your pelvic floor. This is a process called neuroplasticity. It means that even at 70, 80, or 90 years old, you can literally retrain your nerves to behave differently. This is the difference between simply surviving your symptoms and actually mastering your biology. Consistency is your greatest ally here. Do not just try this once and give up if the result isn't a total cure. Think of it like a conversation with a very loud, very confused child. You have to be firm, patient, and consistent to get the message across. I know how exhausting this journey can be. I know the frustration of feeling like your body is betraying you and the embarrassment that sometimes comes with these symptoms. But I want to speak to you directly. You are not your symptoms. You are a person who has spent a lifetime working, caring for others, and building a life. You deserve to live these years with peace and comfort. You don't have to be a prisoner to your bladder. Sometimes the most powerful solutions are the ones that are right at our fingertips, literally. I want you to try one of these ingredients today. Don't wait for the next time you're in a panic. Try it while you're sitting quietly this evening to get a feel for the change. I truly believe in your ability to take control of your health and find the relief you've been looking for. This is about more than just convenience. It is about reclaiming your quality of life and your confidence. I am here to support you every step of the way. Take a deep breath, find your center, and trust that your body still has the incredible power to heal and find balance. I am Dr. Ethan Whitmore. Sleep well, nourish your body, and stay dry. I will see you in the next video.